So whenever making a project that needs buttonholes, you'll need to create a little strip down the front on both sides of the front pieces so that you can have a nice thick solid edging for it to support the button, because when you've got buttonholes, it creates a point of pressure on the fabric, so you want that bit to be extra thick. And you can tell it's the front piece because the neckline is deeper than the back piece. Also, on the front piece of this pattern, which is the onesie pattern, it's got lots of lines here. Now this is the extra small that I'm going to make. Now each one of these lines is a fold line. The first solid line, it says here, extra small fold line. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold it on that line. So the first thing we need to do is to measure this distance. Now the distance between the edge and the fold line that we're looking for, because we're doing the extra small on this one, is 6 centimeters. So it's 6 centimeters. So we know that that's the distance we want from the edge of the fabric. So what I've done for our for the purposes of this video, I have used a piece of scrap fabric and I have cut out the shape of the front panel. Now this is just where the button strips are. Now as you can see, this is the same shape. It's the same shape as the pattern piece because that's where I've cut out. So we're going to go from the edge here. We know that the fold line is 6 centimeters in. Okay. Now this side here is where my crotch seam is. So the little black line, that's the crotch seam. Now what we want to do is we want to make sure that this here is folded in. So let's measure that just to make sure it's correct, that we're folding it in the right place. So 6 centimeters this way, and then 6 centimeters over here. So I need to move that up a little bit. Okay, so as you can see, it doesn't fold right on the corner. It's just before the corner. So you can see that a bit easier if I cover this up here. So here you go, look. Do you see there's a little corner here? There's an extra corner. Make sure you have that, otherwise it's going to get a little tricky later. So, when it says press, it means iron. So I've got my iron here. We're just going to put the iron down there. Now remember, your fabric is polyester, okay? So please, please, please don't press for too long. Otherwise you'll get nasty iron marks on your fabric and you'll never ever get them out. Okay. So, because this fabric is fluffy, it does leave marks from the iron, but they will go away when you wash it. Okay, so that's that side. And then it says to fold under raw edge to crease to form a double facing and press. So we've got one line here. So if you open it up, you can see there's a crease here. So we're going to fold it over to match the edge to that crease. Match the edge to the crease, and then fold over again. So following the crease that we ironed, and we're going to press that again. We do it again for the other side. So we're looking at the right front. Okay, we're just looking at right front. And when they say right front, they mean the front that goes on your right side. Okay, so right front. And we want to fold this so that it faces the front. So what we want to do is we've got the two sides all nicely pressed, yeah? And I've taken out this last pin. What we want to do is we want to fold it over, fold the right side, so that's the side that would sit on your right hand side. We want to fold that open, so we've only got one half of the fold there, okay? Yeah. And then what we want to do is open that up again and fold over. So you see how we've got the double fold here? We're going to keep that. We're going to fold it over again. Now, I recommend you pin this before you start sewing, simply because it makes your life easier. So what you should have now is fold like this. So that's the edge of the fabric, just the edge of the fabric here, fold it over. So it's kind of like doing a little zigzag on the end. The other thing I recommend is that you sew it from the other side. So you're sewing it from the wrong side, not the right side. Now there's a good reason why I recommend that you sew from the wrong side and not the right side. This is so that you can see where you're sewing to, because essentially you're wanting to sew to the crotch seam. See how I've made like a little L? You're sewing to the crotch seam. On the second part of step 2 it says clip. So what they mean is actually to cut down the middle of the L. And you only want to cut one little piece of fabric, okay? Then you want to turn it inside out. So you've got the inside of the L there, and you want to bring that to the front. So when you bring it to the front, it does this. So now your L is inside out and going on the outside. So that's what it's going to look like on the front. So we've got the L, and then you clip down the middle of the L. You see how there's a gap there now? Yeah. And then we turn it inside out. So you know how we've got this little fold here? We turn that little bit that we've ironed inside out. So now we've got this. Okay, so we've got a little bit of inside out. We've got the crotch seam inside out bit of the L. Yeah. Then what we do is we open up where we've got the other side here. So we've got the other side here, which we haven't sewn anything yet, and we've got the right side here. And we want to bring that to the front. So bring it to the right side of the garment and bring it round the other side. So now you've got the right hand side button strip behind the left hand side button strip. When you turn it over, this is what you should see on your crotch. Alright, so this here is the crotch seam, and this is what you've done. That bit there. So it's nice and tidy on the outside. So then we go to number 4. Number 4, lap right front over left front. So now you're looking at right front over left front, right front over left front, and pin. So we just want to pin those so that it's held tight. Yeah. And you want them to be in line. So you want one of those doubles on top of the other. Okay? So you just want to pin that. And that's what it should look like, with this bit here being the crotch seam. Okay, remember, you want to have your right side over your left side. You want to make it nice and straight. And then we're just going to do a little rectangle just here. Okay? Nice and neat.